So 4 years it took me to write this book. And this details a lot of these secrets and a lot of these tools and techniques that we're going to be talking about. This book is called The Pin Drop Principle. So you might be asking yourself, what's the pin drop principle? Why is it titled that? Here is why. Uta Hagen, who was one of the most famous acting teachers of all time in the United States, she has a quote in one of her books where she says, "To be heard so intently that the sound of a pin dropping would be a shock, that is the perfect sea of communication." So the idea there is whatever you are delivering, whether it's a presentation, whether it's an introduction, whether it's a meeting, your audience needs to be listening so intently that at any point, someone dropping a pin on a table is going to wake everybody up because they were focused on you. One of the things we talk about in what we call the pinnacle method, which is what we'll be detailing over the next hour, is the burden of engagement lies with the speaker. It is not the audience's responsibility to be engaged. It's my job to engage you. Which means if my audience is ever bored during my communication, my fault. And the same goes for all of you, running a meeting, delivering a presentation. You've got to engage your audience. And that's what this hour is going to be about. Me giving you some tools and some techniques to be able to do that. All right? I am a big fan of these sessions being a dialogue, not a monologue. So this is not going to be me standing up here for the next hour talking and talking and talking. I may come to you looking for some feedback, looking for some thoughts. Okay? So feel free, if you have a question, stop me. We'll talk about it. All right? Here we go. Let's dive in. So I want to begin with some numbers. 11, that top number, that's how many meetings happen every day just in the United States. 11 million meetings are going on in the United States. Now, I've been looking for the stats in India. I would love to see what the numbers are in India. How many meetings go on every single day? But that's in the US. 61.8. That's the average meetings per month that an executive has to attend in the corporate environment. So if you break that down, that's about 3 meetings a day that we have to go to. So think of your job, think of your work. Does that sound about right, or is it more or less? What do you think? 3 meetings, 3 presentations, 3 conference calls a day? Sound about right? Okay, that's a lot. The next number, take a look at that one. That's the percentage of the average work week we spend in meetings and presentations. Almost half, 37%. We're listening to people do presentations, we're on conference calls, we're in meetings. A lot of meetings. That's a lot going on. Now, these last 2 numbers are where we drive it all home. This is where it becomes interesting. 91. Here's what that is. That's the percentage of people who admit to daydreaming or thinking about something else other than the meeting that they're attending. And it gets better. Here's the next one. 39, that's the percentage of people who admit to falling asleep or dozing off during those presentations and meetings they have to attend. I was training an Apple executive about 2 months ago. He told the story about how he was in a one-on-one meeting with his client, and the client fell asleep. It was just him. He's in the middle of a presentation, and the guy's gone. I said, well, guess whose fault it was? It was your fault. You got to engage them.